All right, welcome into Extra Time, the birthday edition for Ale Moreno.
It's his birthday. We haven't spoken about it. It's okay.
It's okay.
Just because Alexis
is your birthday.
No, wait a minute. Just because Alexis said yesterday that I was her number one doesn't mean you have to be upset about it.
First of all, I didn't say number one. I said I'm looking forward to seeing Ale because I haven't seen
More than
Ale.
Stewie. More than Stewie.
More than me.
That's not what I heard.
So in this race, I'm number one.
Okay, do you know what? It's his birthday. Let's
Very, very
let
upset.
Ale feel like the king he does. And
Well, he always feels like a king.
Yeah,
Does he?
thank you very
That's
much.
not what his missus said.
What?
All right,
That's
let's get into the
that's
first
a
question,
whole
shall we?
other conversation.
What? Yeah, well, I'm sorry. What kind of show is this?
Does your wife like being called the Missus? Missus.
Well, boy.
I like to be called the king, though. I'll take that.
Alex, king for the day. All right, let's get into the first question because
Take that. Put that crown on.
this one gave me a little chuckle. It's from Nathan Pugh. And when I sent out to send everyone your questions because we're on Extra Time today, for Ale, for Robbo, for Shaka, he asked, Shaka still works there?
Well, yes. It's a question we ask ourselves every day.
Shaka, why is this up for debate?
I don't know, Alexis.
Shaka, I think you're a very hard-working person.
Thank you very much.
As we West Indians tend to
Thank you very much. I took a little holiday with my family, and I'm back.
Luxury holiday.
It
Tour
was
guide and all.
But like most companies, the longer you've been there, the more holidays you get. And you must have been there
That's
about 40
absolutely
years.
right. Yes, I'm due quite a lot of days.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
like 40 years.
I only have to show up 2 weeks a year.
You know how you said the amount of work that Shaka puts into the power rankings, right? So, right?
You need a rest. You need a rest. You need a rest after those power rankings.
Shaka puts a whole lot more work into figuring out his days off.
Yes, yes.
Nobody knows the system.
It's the only time he uses the computer.
Nobody knows the system better than Shaka.
If it's one thing Shaka knows how to do, it's take vacation. Let me tell you.
You stop encouraging them, please.
Shaka, I haven't had vacation in about 2 years.
I'll sort you out.
Ah!
You just got to get in the system with Shaka.
Just gotta get in.
I'll show you what you need to do.
All right.
How many days you want? How many days you want? We talk after.
We'll talk after. All right, let's move on to the next question now. This one is for Robbo, and it's from Stevie Nichols' private chef. And he says, Robbo, what do you
what
think
a
of
job
the
that
heat
is.
in this game? Do you think that next year's World Cup we will have a different time or more air cooling matches like at the Qatar World Cup?
Machines. They're cooling machines.
Yeah,
I
those
don't
machines
think
on the side of the pitch. Well, the coaches are getting it. It's not much good the coaches getting the cool air on the side of the pitch. It's difficult, and the times aren't going to be changed because, as we heard Oggy say the other day, they're done for European times to sell the game or get the most money for games, which the European channels will pay for. They're not going to play. There's some of them are going to be indoor, which will be okay because they can air condition the indoor games, but they're going to be played in heat, and there's going to be some slow games. There's going to be some games that might even be interrupted by bad weather, but that's what it is, and you've got to get on with it.
You know who I'm most worried about in next year's World Cup? Mark Ogden.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I have not seen somebody struggle like Oggy.
I have not seen
Every answer Oggy gave today is, it's hot out here.
Well, I'm not sure how his contact lenses have got something to do with the heat. I couldn't quite get that.
Everything.
He says that the heat dries out his contact lenses.
Let's
I
remember.
saw him last about 2 minutes in Miami in the Hard Rock Stadium. He came outside because he wanted to soak up the atmosphere. And then he was like, I can't take this anymore. And he went back inside. But you know what?
Oggy needs his own cooling machine.
He does need his own cooling machine. Air conditioning.
He's a little pasty, too.
He's a little pasty. He burns though.
Little pasty.
Is there a happy machine you can have as well?
A twofer. A 2-for-1. Yeah. Can we get a 2-for-1 deal on that?
Bravo, you know that's not the northern way.
What?
He has to be very brooding, very moody. It goes with the weather up north, Manchester.
Yeah. There was a singer in the 80s, Morrissey, who was miserable. I likened him to Oggy, really.
Just miserable. I don't think Oggy can sing, though.
I'd avoid to keep it, with the people, with the vibes, so the current vibes of. Who is it that you?
Morrissey.
Okay, I'm not
Not
quite
many
sure
people
that.
like Morrissey because his songs were so dour and miserable and.
I'm not quite sure that the demographic that we're going after.
Yeah.
Number one on Oggy's Spotify playlist, though.
Yeah.
What about Oasis? He's got a bit of Oasis in him as well.
He is an Oasis vibe.
Yeah.
Just from the other side of Manchester. Right. Next question, shall we?
We get there.
If Nicolas Jackson walks into Enzo Maresca's office asking what his future at Chelsea looks like, will Maresca be as honest as he has with Raheem Sterling about his prospects? What are his prospects this upcoming season?
He pulls out the magic 8 ball and goes, unlikely.
That was great sound effects.
Yeah.
Here's the issue, and I was speaking about this about when last I was on the show, a while back about
4 weeks ago.
First sign.
quite some time ago, apparently. Nicolas Jackson, I think it was in December, signed a contract to 2033. I mean,
While he was playing well.
while he was playing well. I mean,
Relatively.
I have to say, credit Nicolas Jackson's
did play
agent.
well.
Credit whoever Nicolas Jackson's agent is. What a master stroke that was. But he signed to 2033. So while Maresca could be as honest as he wants, while Nicolas Jackson has every reason to be worried, he's got a contract in 2033.
But what I don't understand, and I guess in this case, honesty is the best policy, but I don't understand why Maresca has to come out and be so out front with all of this, in which you're cornering yourself. And he was so complimentary of Joao Pedro. Fine, do that. But you don't have to then single out Nico Jackson and say he's more of a front runner. He's more of an out-and-out striker, whereas Joao Pedro can do that, but he can also work underneath. He can also go to the side. He can also come from here. He can also
What
come
he
from
should
there.
have said, he could have said, well, there's the answer, so we can play Jackson up front on some occasions, and Joao Pedro can play him behind him. So he gives him a little bit of an olive branch, but he didn't really say that, did he?
No, and he didn't give himself an out either, because he's already essentially said, yeah, Joao Pedro can do all the things that Nico Jackson can do, and more. Mm-hmm. What does that tell Nico Jackson? It tells Nico Jackson you are second or third choice.
What a tangled web we weave at Chelsea.
I thought we were talking.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
I don't know what
Carry on.
I was just saying, we know the situation at Chelsea, guys.
No, that's not what we're talking about.
We know the
Just-
situation.
Never mind.
That was
talking
just
about-
buying
All right.
himself some time, wasn't it?
All right, well, speaking of a tangled web that is being
Really?
woven, I love these type of questions, and I know you guys are gonna love this. For the panel, are you guys done sleeping on Chelsea, or will you triple down on your agenda against the club? Salty.
Who says everybody's against Chelsea?
Our viewer believes that you guys have an agenda
I
against
think
Chelsea.
Maresca is doing an okay job. I think they play quite good football up until the final third at times. That's when they've needed some individual brilliance. Today we saw a little bit of Neto, I thought played well on the right-hand side. They've got Cole Palmer if he's playing at his best. Now they've got Joao Pedro and maybe Jackson at times playing up front. It looks a much better team. But as I said in the show, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, and Cole Palmer, they're going to be key.
Well, as Robbo said, an okay job. That's probably the highest compliment anyone could aim for, right?
From Robbo.
I think you're quite a positive guy. But then again, I see a lot of me in you, so there you go.
Yeah.
So you as well have agendas against Chelsea?
No, I don't have an agenda against Chelsea. When we've been critical of Chelsea, at least in my case, is the redundant signings. When you already have 2 or 3 players deep in a specific position, and then you go and get a player that is, well, pretty much
So
the
your
same.
criticism is more about the club than the team, their philosophy about why they're trying to buy players and what the recruitment
You
is.
have guys in place, and then Jamie Gittins, and I'm like, well, hold on.
Yeah.
Does this make you exponentially better when you already have players in those positions that can do a very similar job? In some cases, even an even better job. And so that's the part that I have an issue, that they feel to be, at least in my estimation, they seem to be redundant with some of the signings that they're making.
Don't look at me, I wasn't here. Easy not talking
All
to
right,
me.
but hold on a
That's
second.
the most
That covers a lot of the years, Shaq.
I know.
We can say about
Shaka.
every topic.
Easy not talking to me.
Shaka's Switzerland. He has no agenda against Chelsea because he's not here long enough. All right, next question now. Barcelona, Rashford. What are they thinking? Robbo, help me out here.
Help you out or help the person?
Well, help the person asking the question.
I cannot for the life of me, if I was a manager or a recruitment officer or whatever you want to call them, and you looked at Marcus Rashford over the last 2 years and say, I tell you what, there's a player that I might want from my team. Because, yes, he's got quality, he's got a bit of pace, he can on occasion score. He had a great season a couple of years ago. But his attitude on the field hasn't been good enough. You know, when things are going...
Changed that Villa a bit.
So what? You can't just say, my attitude's terrible at Manchester United. I'll change a bit
Only
at
as
Villa.
good as your last games, a couple of games, and I thought he looked like a Marcus Rashford of old at Villa.
You can't just switch on and off like that. You've got to give your 100%. And the time when you do have to give more effort is when you're playing badly. Because if you're not playing well on the ball, then you've got to run around and close people down and make yourself effective. And that's when he goes absolutely into his shell and doesn't do anything from the team. He doesn't get good, he's not good on the ball, and then he doesn't do any defending work and he doesn't run around. For me, and his body language is poor. So apart from that, I think he's a fantastic player that Barcelona should
Apart from that, he's great.
Apart from that, go for it, Barca. Guys, any?
I think if you're Barcelona and you're building the team and the personality of the team that you're building and you have all these young players, the last thing you need is somebody who has a troubled past. And I think we can agree that the history of Marcus Rashford with Manchester United has been quite inconsistent. And if you push me to one side, I would say, well, he has been consistently inconsistent. He has been consistently a pain in the backside. And when the standard becomes, well, he tried hard for Aston Villa, that, much like Shaka showing up for work, is a very low bar.
Yeah.
It's a very low bar. And also, I would say, Alexis, you just got to let go of Marcus Rashford.
I refuse to.
You got to let go.
I refuse to. He's one of our own.
See that? Because here's the problem. People fall in love in what he did that one year or what he did that one time. But what we're seeing of Marcus Rashford as of late is a player that is not needed by Barcelona and a personality that certainly is not needed by Barcelona.
Can we just even say that maybe he just needs the right environment again to thrive? And we can agree that the environment at Manchester United wasn't helping him.
What you can say is Rafinha looked as though he was a troubled player at one point at Barcelona, and Hansi Flick has come in.
You can never question his effort, though.
No, absolutely not. Hansi Flick has come in and changed the way he's played and changed the way he's made the forward runs, so he's improved that. But you cannot, as any player, when you're not playing well, look as though you're not trying. And you tell everybody in the crowd, I can't be bothered anymore. And that's what Marcus Rashford has done. There's no comeback when you behave like that.
I think the biggest challenge around Marcus Rashford trying to re-establish his old self is it wasn't just, to your point, Alexis, it wasn't just one club and one manager. It was one club, but it was 3 or 4 successive managers that Marcus Rashford maintained that same attitude. So to your point about Hansi Flick coming in and changing Rafinha, Manchester United cycled through managers who were unable to get the best out of Marcus Rashford. No, I think he's incredible talent, but I think he's shot himself in the foot.
They all came to the same conclusion. Those managers that were troubled by many things going on in Manchester United and that needed goals, and that this guy would have been the answer for you to actually create something in the attack, and they decided that it was best for Manchester United and for them as a manager, with their job being on the line, to say, no, go over there. That's a very strong message sent by all those managers.
Barcelona, we played some great football last year, but what was their main attribute? It was winning the ball back quickly, making sure the opposition couldn't build up play because they hold this high line, so they have to press the ball higher up the field. Marcus Rashford doesn't want to do that. He never did it for Manchester United. He hardly did it for Aston Villa. So no, for me, he cannot sign for Barcelona.
Let it go. Let it go, Alexis.
It's just so hard to let go. You guys know I'm a clinger.
All right, wait a minute.
I cling.
Wow. That's a tangled web that we do not want to weave.
That's a tangled web we don't want to weave. Next question. This one's for Shaka.
What?
And it says, for Shaka, watching 44-year-old Fabio grind out 3 clean sheets this tournament in the Club World Cup, including against opponents like Dortmund and Inter, do you think you retired too soon? Not when you take this week vacation.
Nope.
Simple.
Nope.
You don't even miss it a little, Shaka?
Nope.
No?
My time come and went.
Alexis, Shaka should have retired as soon as they had the back pass rule where you couldn't pick it up.
Oh.
I wasn't as bad as you're making it sound with my feet, Robbo.
What a time.
You and Steve Agrizovic, the Coventry goalkeeper.
No. Be yourself.
Can I ask you this? And then it's something that we haven't talked about in the past. Did you start thinking about retirement when I scored on you?
I knew it was time.
That's when you
I
knew.
think that's when.
That's when I knew. That's when I was like, I can't.
I know. I was saying you should retire.
I can't think any lower than this.
Yes, I know. I know.
All right. So simple answer. No, he does not miss it. He loves being in an air-conditioned, cushy studio with us.
You were going to say being a pundit, but he doesn't do that very often.
Oh, shots fired. Shaka.
Shaka. I come back for this. We're on holiday
Shaka,
now.
for me. Next
I have to book a
question.
holiday.
If Mbappe scores against PSG, oh, Ale's gonna love this one. Should he celebrate unlike João Pedro today?
Yes. Yes.
You shouldn't just give it a...
I mean, it doesn't have to be crazy, but he now plays for Real Madrid. And he owes his loyalties currently to Real Madrid. And mind you, the end of his stay at PSG wasn't the best, and it's ongoing.
It's very much ongoing.
There are certain things that are still ongoing.
Oh, yeah.
Legal issues that are still ongoing. So, yes, if I were Kylian Mbappe, first of all, once I scored, I would give it.
Oh, 3 fist bumps.
Yeah,
give it a windmill.
I'll go and celebrate.
To the PSG fans or to the Real
No,
Madrid fans?
Real Madrid fans.
Okay.
Hey, PSG fans, thank you very much. But
Have any of you ever scored? Well, of course, definitely not Shaka.
What?
But have you ever scored and celebrated in front of a former team? Or
Of course. In fact, you celebrated even more. You know, 'cause
Oh.
usually you leave the team that
not
you
quite
play
the
for.
gentleman I thought.
No, absolutely not.
Oh.
You always leave the team that you've been playing for a reason. You know, whether you didn't get on with the manager or whatever it is, or
Did you not have any sentimental attachment
no.
to a team?
In fact, I had exactly the opposite mentality. I was desperate
What
to
kind of
score against them.
celebration do you do? Are you a knee slider? Are you a windmill? Are you a fist pump? Are you a vamos? Do you say vamos? Can you say vamos?
No, I just ran with one arm up in there, a bit like Shearer did. Yeah, I think.
Very, very laissez-faire.
Very laissez-faire. Very laissez-faire.
A bit of arrogance, I think. You know.
Boy.
Don't you worry about that.
No, you were like casual.
Yeah.
I do this with my eyes closed. Love that. Our Robbo.
But we know that he's not gonna. That he's
He's
not
not
gonna
gonna.
He's
celebrate.
not going. He's not.
No, he'll celebrate in court, as we all do.
Wait a second. What? I got
Spicy.
another
Have you
tangle
got to the
web.
solicitors yet?
Final question. This one as
Another
well for
tangled
Robbo. Another tangled web. For Robbo, do you have any pictures of Shaka in his Maserati? This is what we've been asking for years.
No, I should have taken them at the time.
Oh!
Hello.
Ah, boy. Who did that?
Wow, that's Mr. Moneybags.
You've denied it all these years that you had a Maserati. You said, "Oh no, really," and
I need to see the license plate on that.
Oh my God.
Was that the color?
No.
That
You want to explain your license plate to people?
No.
What did his license say?
S11 Aka.
Oh,
That
my
is
days.
the biggest poser you will ever get in your life.
My days.
Are you
Shaka?
denying it, Shaka?
No.
Shaka, I always tell people that you're very humble and wise with your, not wild. See, the truth nearly came out, wild. Wise with your money back in the day when you were a footballer. I said, not my friend, not Shaka. He came from humble beginnings like we do in the Caribbean. He would never
He
splash
played
that
for
cash.
Harry Redknapp. He had a lot of money, let me tell you.
Oh my God. I'm not sure ESPN lawyers would allow this. I bought myself a car once.
A car.
That's as much as I'm going to commit to. Bought myself a car once.
So what was the point of having a car that did 200 miles an hour when you can only drive at 70 miles an hour in England?
In a school zone less, right?
Yeah.
Just so that you could go vroom, vroom.
All right.
It purrs.
And it did.
And it had the roof slid off and he put his head out the top every so
I mean, it's not often that you can do a convertible in England, though, Shaka.
Oh,
I didn't have a convertible. Alexis.
man.
Stop talking to Robbo.
So you would take your kids to school in
In
the
a Maserati.
I'd take my kids to school as a father.
In the Maserati.
In the
I'm a
Maserati.
father.
Right? And then you would rev it up.
No,
No.
Would you rev it up after you
He
drop
didn't
them off?
I never saw him take the kids to school. I saw him pick them up. And that's when he used to arrive early and he used to stand by the car and give a little brush down of it. The music was on blaring. Oh, my God.
Oh, what did the other parents think?
Oh, there was some. How can I put this?
Ladies,
some
some
mums that
mothers.
were very impressed. Yeah.
Oh!
And I would say he was doing it for those mums. So that's what I would say.
Okay.
Oh, so you were doing like you were getting out of the car slowly.
Yeah.
It was, huh?
And he,
It was like-
sometimes he had a vest
You
on.
know to stop
A
talking.
vet.
A vest.
You need to
With
stop
no
this, Robbo.
jacket?
No, with no jacket, just a
Just
vest.
showing the gun. Just showing arms.
Chains? chain?
Oh, chains. 2 gold
Chain?
chains.
Oh,
and,
two
and,
gold
and,
chains.
and a rope chain round the...
Oh, not the rope chain. Oh, Shaka. Wow.
Man,
Right.
When you going back? When you going back?
you've changed, Shaq. You've changed, Shaq.
My impression of Shaka has changed now.
Dramatically.
Let's go.
All right, well, thankfully for
You give
Shaka,
up.
I need a vacation.
our producer says we need to wrap things up because we owe Adam
thanks,
Moreno a
producer.
very expensive
I needed
birthday
it.
dinner, just in case
Oh,
nobody heard.
okay,
It is
no,
Adam
right.
Moreno's birthday.
Oh.
And we will be back again tomorrow on ESPN FC. Please join us on ESPN Plus live from New York.